Sorry. Okay, fine. Fine again. So let me start the VM. Okay, and we'll go for installation once again. In case if you are still having any doubts, you can ask me, guys. Right, I'm starting the VM. So this is common, guys. Once the machine is created, once the VM is created, every day you have to open the VM and you have to start the VM. Once the VM is started completely, then only okay you can connect to the server remotely, guys. I just want to add one more point related to the RDP. Yesterday I forgot to add that point. So in case if you want to connect to the server through RDP, there is one more minimum requirement is there. So what is that, guys? So your laptop OS, okay, laptop OS, the one that you are using now, laptop OS should be Windows 10 Pro or 11 Pro, guys. 11 Pro. So only if you are using your laptop with Windows 10 Pro or 11 Pro, then only you can able to do RDP. Okay. So where I can check this one, Windows 10 Pro or 11 Pro, and the system information shortcut is MS Info 32. Okay. In the system information, you can see here OS name Microsoft Windows 10 Pro. Sometimes you can see 10 home, 11 home. So if it is home, then you cannot use the RDP, guys. RDP feature is not available in the home edition. Are you getting the point, guys? So maybe some of you while practicing this RDP, you might get errors. So even though after completing all the configurations, still you are not able to get means, check whether you are getting internet or not, first thing. Second thing is check the OS name, the edition of the OS, whether it is a 10 Pro or 11 Pro. So that is very important, guys. So then you are able to
Sure.
do RDP. Yes, yes.
In Windows 11 working
Windows 11.
11 home.
Sorry, Jay, I'm not getting your question.
Sir, in Windows 11 home it's working properly only RDP.
11 home, initially it will work. Later on, like it might create some problems. Sometimes. Initially, even though it's 11 home, sometimes it will work. So don't update it. If you update the laptop and all, sometimes RDP feature will be stopped. Okay. Sometimes it will take automatic
Shanmugh, I
updates,
have
right?
one
So
doubt.
in that scenario, it will be stopped. RDP feature will be stopped.
Shanmugh, I have one doubt.
Yeah, yeah, Prem.
So if we are using Windows 7,
Hmm.
maybe maybe if we are using Windows 7, in that time we need to use the RDM. They have any option like this one, any crack version or supporting files?
No,
No.
I don't have anything like for
Okay.
the cracked version and all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
So we need to use only Windows 10 or 11.
Yeah, Windows 10 or 11. 11.
So
Windows 10 Pro, 11 Pro. So
okay.
Windows 7
We-
also it might work. Just test it once. I'm not sure. So
Okay.
7 also there is a chance it might work. Just test it once after configuring all things. Just test it once. So if like
Mm-hmm.
make sure like we need two settings. One is from VM side. Okay. One is from VM
Okay.
Oracle
We
VirtualBox
are
the settings, network settings, and you have to right select the bridge adapter, and then you have
mm,
to choose the wireless adapter and advanced mode
okay.
options allow all. This is one setting, and in the
Okay.
machine side, you have to enable from this PC properties, you have to enable the remote.
Mm-hmm.
These two settings, just try to enable it, and if still not working means
Mm-hmm.
it will not support.
We need to change the OS
Yes, we have to
if
change
we
the
not
operating
work.
system. Yes. And
Okay.
one more
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
guys.
Thank
Yeah, yeah. One more thing, guys. There are two ways to connect to the server. So, Shanmukh, if RDP is not working, how? Not an issue. You will not get experience with RDP. That's it. You can connect to the server directly. Once the server is created, right? Once the server is created and install the operating system, right? We can log in, right? By using control plus delete. You can log in, you can work with it normally. If RDP feature is not there, that doesn't mean you cannot practice. Everything you can practice except RDP. RDP is a way of connecting to the server, another way of connecting to the server. That's it. If RDP feature is not working, don't worry, guys. Nothing to worry. Just try log into the server directly. And like what we did yesterday, the same process, installing SQL Server, everything is same. If it is RDP, you can copy the files from local laptop to the server easily, and you will get a industrial experience, like a real-time experience. You will get it, and you will be habituated to use RDP, so that in the organization you will not get worry like what is RDP, how to connect and all. For that purpose only RDP is important. So otherwise, it's if RDP is not at all working, okay, or your operating system is not supporting RDP, don't worry. You can still practice it directly, like how I did now. I just log into the machine directly, and from there, like same process. If it is RDP, you will get full screen. If it is direct connection, you will get a limited screen. Is it clear, guys, everyone? Are we good now? Any questions, doubts?
No.
Okay, fine. So
No,
now
sir.
what we can do, yeah, let me connect to the server through RDP. If you connect to the server through RDP, this will be locked. Direct connection will be locked. See, I'm connecting to the server RDP, right? See, now you can see this window and all. Once I connected through RDP, that will be locked. I'm closing this and connect. Yes. So see how it will be locked. See in the back. Done. So at a time, either you can use RDP or direct connection, guys. Fine. Right. So now again, let's discuss about the SQL Server installation. Maybe yesterday it might be kind of a okay overloading kind of thing. So yesterday again we'll discuss the SQL Server installation. If you are not getting any point or if you have any doubts, still you can ask me. We'll discuss it, guys. So anyhow, media is attached. So I can still see SQL Server 2019 software. Okay. In the D drive. Okay. So go to this PC and this is our setup file. Right click, open this setup file. Right. Now, right click on the setup file, run as administrator. Always you have to choose run as administrator. So before installing SQL Server, after installing SQL Server, you have to reboot it. So this is my practice machine, right? So yesterday night I just stopped it and again just now I just started the VM. So not an issue. It's a reboot only. But in the organization, we don't reboot the servers on a regular basis. Once your work is completed, okay, done for today, it's done. Shut down all the servers. Let's go. Nothing like that. The server should be up and running 24 by 7 by 365 days. So if the server is down, the associated SQL server and databases will be down. The associated applications also will be down. So that's why the servers will be up and running 24 by 7 by 365 days. Whenever we have the work, we will connect to the server. Once our work is completed, we'll come out from the server. That's it. That's how we'll manage. Okay. So in the organization, maybe since days, since months, since years also, they will not restart the Windows machine. So that's why it's always good practice to restart the Windows machine before and after installing the SQL Server. This is one important point that you have to keep in mind. Second one is SQL Server installation is a downtime activity or it's not a downtime activity, guys. SQL Server installation is
It's
a
a
downtime activity.
downtime activity.
It's a downtime activity.
So SQL Server installation is a downtime activity. Actually, it's true to some extent. In case if it is a fresh machine, what is downtime? If any databases are there, if any SQL servers are up and running, if the SQL server is associated with applications, if you restart the SQL server, the databases will go down. If the databases are down, the application will be down. Correct, guys? That is called downtime, right? If the application is down, that is called downtime. So if SQL server is already there in that machine, and if you are rebooting to install the SQL server, if you are rebooting the virtual machine, then in that scenario, that is a downtime activity. If it is a fresh machine, fresh box, nothing installed in that, no SQL server has been installed in that till now, then it's not a downtime activity. Is it clear, guys, everyone? Okay. So SQL Server installation, if it is fresh installation, it's not a downtime activity. Why? Because what is there to down? If it is existing installation, you will reboot the Windows machine. All the SQL servers will be rebooted. When SQL servers are rebooted, databases also will be rebooted. Once these components are rebooted, the application will be down until the databases are back. So if there are no SQL components in that machine, like yesterday we created a new machine, fresh machine, there are no SQL instances. Yesterday it was not a downtime activity. Now I am installing second time. So now is it a downtime activity, guys? Yes. Why? Because already SQL server is up and running. So to install another SQL server, I have to reboot the Windows machine. So if already instances are up and running, and if you are rebooting the Windows machine, that's a downtime activity. If no instances are up and running, it's not a downtime activity. Very simple.
Yes,
How much time it's required, Shanmugh, downtime?
See, it depends. Generally, throughout the installation, you need downtime, right? Before and after installation, we'll restart it multiple times. So roughly, installation will take place for about 15 minutes, roughly, if it is a fresh installation and all. If it is an existing installation, maybe hardly 5 to 10 minutes, the installation will be completed. So throughout the installation, you can say like max to max 15 minutes you can take the downtime, or hardly 30 minutes of downtime you can take. In case it's if it's already installed, if SQL Server is already installed, if there is no SQL installation, I mean to say if there is no SQL components in that machine, you are doing for the first time, it's not a downtime activity. Okay.
Got it.
hello, Shanmugh.
Yeah, Jamir, tell me.
For example, 2 days, for example, next week I have new SQL Server installation
Mm,
already existing there on
mm,
database. Now, before on Sunday, we done Windows update, everything.
mm.
Now everything is patch update, everything is fine. Even though next week I was going to install one more new database in SQL. On that time also I required
See,
definitely
Jamir, first of all,
yes.
forget about what and all updates are added to the Windows machine. Before and after installation, we have to reboot the Windows machine. That's for sure. So yesterday you did the updates, today morning you did the updates. That is different. Okay, no matter it involves like in the installation of SQL Server. You have to restart the Windows machine before installing the SQL Server, after installing the SQL Server. Very straight point. So when you are restarting, whether you installed updates yesterday or last week, that is in no way depends on the SQL installation. So simply you have to reboot the Windows machine. Now at this moment, 6:56 p.m. of the server time, you are installing a SQL server. Now you have to reboot the Windows machine. And after installing SQL server also, you have to reboot the Windows machine. So when you are
No, what
rebooting,
will be the reason? You are telling blindly for us that you need to reboot. What
correct.
reason?
What reason? That is for best recommendations. It's not like reason, and you have seen that one check is also there. Global rule, like while installing, there is a check also there. See, for best practices, there will be no reasons. Okay, if you reboot it, it's good. Otherwise, it's not mandatory to reboot, but you might face some issues that we don't know internally. For example, now you are only saying that Windows team installed some updates. It needs a reboot, but wantedly they skipped the reboot. They might reboot, they just plan to reboot monthly once. Like, but after installing the updates, Windows updates, it needs a reboot. So when you are doing a SQL Server installation, the reboot check will be failed. So if the reboot check is failed, then you cannot proceed to install the SQL Server.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. So this is the installation center, guys. When you open the setup file, okay, installation center will open. Now you can see this one. So this is what we will get it with the SQL Media software. So using SQL Installation Center, we can install SQL servers and we can do other things also slowly. We'll discuss other things that what and all things we can do using the installation center like SQL Server, standalone installation, cluster installation. We can also install different tools related to the SQL Server. So now go to installation phase and I'm going to install a standalone copy. So standalone installation means if you are installing SQL Server on a single virtual machine, that is called a standalone installation. So I'm installing a standalone installation. So select this standalone installation. So once you selected the standalone installation, see guys, at a time we can install only one copy. You can see here, once I selected the standalone installation, this was grayed out. So Shanmugh, can I install multiple SQL servers at a time? That is not possible. So this setup file will open only once. Once, either you have to complete the installation or you have to cancel the installation to install one more copy. But parallelly, 2, 3 copies you cannot install. You can see here, okay? If I want to install another copy, if I want to click, it's not there, it's grayed out. So until this window, one more window is going to pop up. Until that window is going to be closed, this will be grayed out. So what I mean to say, parallelly, you cannot install multiple instances at a time on the same machine. So once you initiated one installation, I just initiated one installation. Once you initiated one installation, until it is going to be completed or cancelled, okay, you cannot install one more copy again. Microsoft updates, okay, so as of now, as the servers doesn't have any internet connection, we don't need any Microsoft updates. Anyhow, after SQL Server installation, we are going to patch the SQL servers with the latest updates. So we can skip the Microsoft updates. Just go to next. It is going to install some support files in the backend. Whatever support files are needed, it is going to install those support files, guys. So once the support files, if it's already installed, it is going to skip it. Okay, so it's not going to install again. So initially yesterday, we have installed the SQL Server, right? So initially it installed some support files. So now it is going to skip it. So now you can go to next. So here, yesterday, if you see, this box is blank, nothing is there. Okay, now yesterday we have installed one instance, right? So now you can see here, okay, the copy that we have installed yesterday, which is default instance. Okay, now you can see here that is already existed. So you can see I want to install a new installation or you want to add features to the existing installation, you can select this one. If you want to add any features to the existing installation, you can select the second option or you want to perform a new installation, you can select this option. So I'm going to perform a new installation, which is a perform a new installation of 2019. Go to next. And I'm going to install a developer edition. So make sure you have selected developer edition and go to next. I accept the license terms for every software. Go to next. Only 3, 4 main terminologies will be there, guys, during installation. Okay.
Sharmak,
Yes, yes, Narendra.
so product key only available for enterprise edition, right?
Standard and enterprise edition.
Okay.
Okay, the paid editions will have product keys.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So as discussed earlier, this is having 2 sections, specific features, shared features. So yesterday, if you remember, shared features will install only once for the first time. Yesterday we have installed client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, SQL client connectivity SDK. These 4 common shared features that we'll install. So for one machine, for the whole Windows machine, only one copy of shared features will be installed. So that's why yesterday we have installed, so no need to install it again, and it will not allow you also to install. Grayed out. So now I want to install, yesterday we installed a database engine for default instance. Now default instance slot is full. I have a quick question for all of you guys. Now yesterday I installed a 2019 default instance, right? 2019 version of default instance. Can I install 2022 default instance in the same Windows machine? Just try it, guess it, yes or no.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Guess it, guys. Can I install one more default instance of other version? So the same version,
Default,
that's
No.
for sure.
default we can't install,
Yes,
but
you can
named
install.
instance we can
No,
install.
I am asking about only default instance. So
Default instance, no.
No.
guess it, guys. So this is a different
No.
version. Same version, yes, we cannot install. But different version, can't we install the default version? I mean to say default instance. So the answer is no, guys, not possible. I told you, right? So only one default instance, irrespective of the versions, only one. Again, if you can install 2019 default instance, 2022 default instance, when you are connecting, of course, both are going to take computer name only. So when you are connecting to the SQL server, it will connect to 2019 or 2022. It's a conflict. Okay, that's why, irrespective of the version, whatever version it is, once the default instance is installed in that machine, you cannot install default instance of same version and the other version also, right? So from specific feature side, what and all features we have to select, guys? Main features.
Data,
Database engine is
Database
the
engine
database,
services.
component of
Application,
the SQL server.
SQL Server replication,
Application,
full
and
text and
Full
semantic.
text.
Full
full
text.
text and semantic expression.
very good. Okay, so these 3 are common specific features that we are going to select for every installation, guys. These 3 are main features for SQL Server, database engine, replication, and full text. Okay, so these are in case if you want any SSIS, SSRS, you can select it from here. And this is SSIS is a shared feature. Only one copy for machine. SSRS and AS are specific features. You can have multiple copies per machine. Okay, you can see here analysis services. If you want to download, you can download reporting services also. So these are all, these RS and AS both are specific features. Multiple copies it will allow. And IS, SQL Server Integration Services, it's a shared feature. Only one copy it will allow. Okay, fine. And when you install this, it will create a root directory, instance root directory in the C program files, Microsoft SQL Server. There it is going to dump the SQL Server installation related files and all.
We
Next,
can change it, right,
you
Shan?
can change it. It is going to allow you. See, instance root directory is an editable only. So you can just click on these 3 dots and you can give your own path, no issues. Right. So yesterday we have installed a default instance. Now I cannot install one more default instance. If you select default instance and I'm going to next, immediately you'll get a error here. Instance name MS SQL Server is already in use. To continue, specify a unique instance name. When you install default instance, remember when you install a default instance, all the folders and services names will be created as MS SQL Server. Okay, for default instance, all the folders, supported folders and services will be created with the name of MS SQL Server. Means if you see MS SQL Server, that means default instance is installed. See, MS SQL Server is already in use. That means default instance is already in use. You cannot install one more default instance. To continue, specify a unique instance name. So I cannot install one more default instance. So I'm going to install named instance. There is functionality wise, there is no difference between a default instance and named instance. Functionality wise, there is no difference between a default instance and named instance. Both are same. While connecting, default instance will take computer name and named instance will take the name that you gave during the installation, guys. And yesterday also we discussed some protocols of naming an instance, right? Maximum it will support 16 characters. It cannot start with numbers or special characters. It should start with characters only. Special characters are not allowed other than dollar and underscore. These are the things that you have to keep in mind. One more thing, that you are not going to decide the instance name. Generally, application team will decide the instance name. They are going to add it in the build sheet. If you have to decide the instance name, don't give your own names. You can give any name, it will accept any name in the sense if you are following the protocol. It will accept, but don't decide generally. Or if you are the only person to decide, just go to the previous or old machines, check the instance name, check what name they are giving for installing the SQL servers, like what rules they are following. As per the rule, you can name the instance. Clear, guys? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install, okay, uh, batch 56. Batch 56. I'm going to install batch 56. So now I'm going to install the named instance. So select the named instance and give the batch 56. Once you selected here, once you gave the name here, just click here once. Automatically, it will change it to batch 56. No need to add it manually. Instance ID is nothing but it's a folder that gets created for batch 56 instance. Okay, so that is your instance ID. You can see here. SQL Server directory MSSQL 15.batch56. Okay. Now you can see the earlier versions are default instance we installed, instance ID, what and all features, what edition it is, which version it is. You can see everything here in this box. So go to next. Right. This is another important screen where we need a little attention on this. Service account is very important to run the services. When you install any software in the Windows machine, any software, forget about SQL Server. When we install any software in the Windows machine, generally the softwares will be installed or will work as services. For example, if you installed Zoom on behalf of Zoom software, some services will run in the background, then only Zoom will work properly. Any application, RDP application, RDP is also an application. Your Microsoft Word, your Excel, your Google Chrome, whatever applications that you are working regularly, every application in the backend, some services will be installed and the services will be up and running continuously. If the services are up and running, then only the software will work properly. In the same way, when you install SQL Server also, some services will be installed in the Windows machine. These services are responsible to make sure the SQL server is up and running. I'll show you what and all services, how many services will be created, how to identify the services and all. So if any service is running, every service, okay, all services we can see in the services.msc, guys. All services we can see in the services.msc. Every service related to Windows, SQL Server and other softwares, every service we can see in the services.msc. See, some of the services are running. If you want to stop it, right click, you can try stopping it, but some of them can be a background processes, background services. So if they are able to, like, you can stop some of the services and you cannot stop some of the services. Why? Because to make sure your Windows machine is up and running, some background services also should be up and running. So that's why these are the services. Every service, okay, will have a service account. See, the last column is your service account. So what this service account will do, based on the nature of the service or software, it will perform. Every software, guys, at the end of the day, it has to at least read the data, right? Every software at the end of the day, at least it has to read the data. Some softwares, it will read and write the data. Where it has to read and write? In a disk. Disk means what? Folders. So folders means no one can enter into the folder. A service cannot enter into the folder. A software cannot enter into the folder. On behalf of that service, one account will be there. This account will enter into the directory, drive, folder. So that account should have necessary privileges, permissions. So that account is called service account. Are you getting the point, guys? So on behalf of SQL Server, simply service account is an account which will help you to run the service, first thing. Second thing, SQL Server is an RDBMS software. Using the SQL Server, we can store, process and retrieve the data. So data will be stored in a disk at the end of the day. Permanently, it will be stored in a disk at the end of the day. So who can enter into the disk? Only a service account can enter into the disk. So for every SQL Server, service account is very important. There are different types of service accounts. Default service account and customized service accounts. So default service accounts, you will get it with the installation. You can use the existing default service accounts with the installation. But it's not good practice to use default service accounts. Performance-wise, it's not good. So what we will do, we'll give our own service accounts called customized service account. So it's just a user account. This user account will have a sysadmin privileges so that it can enter into any disk, it can write the data to any disk, any folder, it can read the data, it can modify the data at the disk level. That is what service account is. Is it clear, guys, everyone? Any questions on
Yes, sir.
service account? Okay. So
Yeah.
collation.
No.
Yes, sir. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Before installation, we should have the service account created in
Correct.
handy. I mean, from
Correct.
right.
So in the organizations, we use customized service accounts only. So before installing the SQL Server, we need, I told you right in the prerequisites. Where is this? Prerequisites. Yeah. Build sheet. So here, generally in the build sheet, we will have the service account, name and password. I'll tell you guys, I'll show you. Okay. We'll install SQL Server multiple times throughout the course. So if you have any service account, you can directly add the service account here and you can add the password here. If you are using default service accounts, you don't ask any password. If you are using default service accounts, you don't ask any password, you can go ahead. But if you are using custom service accounts, customized service accounts, that account name you have to give here and that password you have to give here, that I'll show you later. But now I'll install SQL Server with the default accounts. Later, I'll show you how to change the service account also. That is also an important activity that sometimes we'll do in the organization. And going forward, I'll also show you how to give a service account here. During installation, how to give. After installation also how to give, that will be discussed. So as of now, I'll use the default service accounts only. So before installing SQL Server, it's mandatory to have the service account name and password, guys. From where we will get it. So in the organization, we'll maintain the passwords in a spreadsheet or in a separate shared path or in any document that we are going to refer, or maybe we'll use key vault or password vault or CyberArk. These are the applications that we will use to store the passwords. So from there we'll get the password and service account username. So it's mandatory to have service account name and password handy before the installing SQL Server, before installing the SQL Server in the organization. Clear, guys? Everyone about service account?
Yes, Shanmugh.
Yeah, and if there is no specific document, then which team we need to ask for this?
Windows team, Windows team. Windows team will create the service accounts, guys. Okay,
Okay.
they will like you should have, first of all. It's not like you don't have, guys. Only one service account will be there across the organization. The same account, same password will be used for all the instances. So don't think for every server different service accounts. No, hardly one or two service accounts will be there. That should be a domain account. I'll tell you what is domain and all. So the same domain account and domain password will use as a service account. Only one account. So definitely once you're into the organization, this information you will get it from your colleague. Okay. You can ask your colleague, hey, can you please share the service accounts passwords and all? So he is going to share, or at least he will share the location, or at least he will tell you how to get the password and all. Okay. Generally, you cannot share the passwords in the organization, guys. Okay. There are some tools using like password vault, key vault, or CyberArk. So there the passwords will be stored. So at least if he is not able to share the password, he will tell you how to get the password. So only one account will be there, one password will be there. So for n number of installations, we'll use the same account and password. Okay, fine, guys. So startup type, I told you, right, some services will be installed. Some services will be installed when you install SQL Server. So every service will have a startup type. Okay. So the startup type will be generally either automatic. You can see here, it's disabled. Let's go with this time broker. So that the startup type, it's manual only. Yeah, you can see here startup type automatic. Let's go with automatic. Any service. I'm just showing any service. So there are four options I can say. Automatic, manual, disabled. Okay. So delayed start means forget about it. So first let's discuss automatic. When you reboot this Windows machine, this service will be started automatically. That is called automatic. The service, whatever we just highlighted, network store interface, this service will be automatically, it will be rebooted, restarted. Automatically, it will start the service. Manual means what? After restarting the Windows machine, you have to manually start the service. Disabled means what? You don't want to start the service. You don't want to start the service, it should be in disabled state. Automatic delayed start means after rebooting the Windows machine, immediately it will not start. It will take some time and then it will start. Automatic means after rebooting the Windows machine, immediately it will start. Manual means you have to start the service manually, like right click, start option will be there. Right click, you can start. If it is stopped, you can start it. Right click, you can start. See, start is highlighted. Or you can see start option also. So we cannot manually start it every time. We'll reboot multiple times in the organization based on the activities that you are doing. So again, if you just set it as manual, you have to manually start the services. So the best practice is it should be automatic. Automatically, when you reboot the Windows machine, automatically the services has to be started, guys. That is called automatic. And collation settings, generally collation settings are language settings. So the default language settings are SQL, Latin 1, General, CP1, CIAS. This is the English language. Okay, SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS for English language. If you want to change the generally they will not ask you. In case if they need application team need specific collation settings, you might have applications from different countries. If you are providing services or support to multiple clients, you might get clients from different countries. So they might ask, I need specific collation settings only, specific language only I need. In that scenario, you can customize it using this customize option. If they did not mention any specific collation settings, you can always choose the default collation, which will be SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. Okay, so this is your default collation settings. In the interviews, they will ask you what is the default collation setting or not. Next. So server
Sharma,
configuration.
I have a
Yes,
doubt.
tell me.
So we are using you said language, right? If we change the language, the user interface will also be changed, or only the database files will be changed.
Everything will be changed. Yeah. And like again, if you see your phone and all, sometimes if you change the language in your phone, sometimes accidentally it will be changed to Telugu or some Hindi language and all, or sometimes even Chinese language also. Every interface will be changed, every option will be changed. Okay, right. So now this is very important screen, guys. This is the last screen. Server configuration. Here you have to add at least one person to connect to the SQL server after installation. Why? Because if no one is able to connect, then how you can provide access to others? So this is called authentication. Authentication mode. We have two types of authentication modes. Authentication means very simple. How you are connecting to the server is called authentication. How you are connecting to the server is called authentication. If it is Windows authentication, you will connect using Windows credentials. If it is mixed mode authentication, you will give specific credentials. See, when I select this mixed, it is asking for SA password. So you should have SA password also handy before installing the SQL server. You should have SA password also handy, SA password. Okay. So SA service account and sysadmin account, both are different. SA means not service account. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Sysadmin SA account is an account which helps you to connect the SQL server. Are you getting the point, guys? So this SA account will help you to connect to the SQL server. This service account will help you to run the SQL server services. Okay, so you should have SA password also handy before installing the SQL server. Same, where we will get it SA password depends on the organization to organization. They will maintain in a spreadsheets, they will maintain in a key vault, they will maintain in a password vault, they will maintain in a CyberArk. These are the tools that will be used to store the passwords. So authentication means how you are connecting to the SQL server. You are giving Windows credentials to connect, or Windows means you know, right? What credentials we gave, guys, earlier to jump into the Windows machine, what credentials we gave? To connect to this Windows server, we gave credentials. What credentials we gave? Administrator and password.
Password.
So if you choose Windows authentication, it will also use the same credentials to connect to the SQL server. That is one way of connecting. Or no, I don't want like that. I want to use mixed mode, both Windows and SQL authentication. That means you can use same Windows authentication, Windows credentials, and you can give your own credentials, right? That is called SA account and password. So you can also use SA account is a sysadmin account. This sysadmin account will help you to connect to the SQL server. Okay, guys. So forget about this discussion now. There is a concept called security. How we can connect, how we will connect, how many ways we can connect. What is authentication? What is authorization? So everything will be discussed in the security session. Don't worry at all. I'll explain with the help of diagrams. So in this section, you have to add at least one account. So first I'll install with using a Windows authentication. Later, Can I change it to mixed mode authentication, guys? The answer is yes. We can change the authentication mode after installation also, but it's a downtime activity. You have to restart it to apply the changes. So initially I'll install Windows authentication. Later I'll show you how to change it. This is one section. Second one is specify server administrators. So who is going to connect to the SQL server initially? So generally, if you are installing SQL Server, you have to add your account and your team's account also. That is very important. If you don't add your team's account, you will install the SQL Server and once installation is done, you will go to home. But if something happened to the SQL Server, someone has to troubleshoot, right? How they are going to troubleshoot if they don't have connection, if they don't have access? So here you have to add your team also. So once you have added your team, you will be part of your team so that if something went wrong, even though if you are not there in the shift, anyone from the team will connect to the SQL server and they are going to troubleshoot it. Clear, guys? So in this section, we are going to add our account and we are going to add our team's account also. So what is team's account? How it will be? That will be discussed in future classes. While discussing Active Directory, I'll create a group login. So I'll show you how to add group. Simply you have to give team's name, sqldbs@infosys.com. As of now, that team is not there. So once the team is created, then if you give the team name here, DL, there is a word called DL, distribution list. So every team will have a team mail ID. Everyone, DBA team will have a group mail ID. So we don't send mails to individual people. Generally, if there is any communication, any notification, we'll send it to the team. Team means we don't type everyone. We'll have a group email ID. So in that group email ID, everyone from the DBA team will be involved. Like Windows team will have Windows mail ID. DBA team will have DBA team mail ID. Network team will have network team mail ID. Storage team will have storage team mail ID. Every team application will have application team ID. Your organization will have, your region will have your region mail ID. Your country will have country mail ID. Your company will have whole company mail ID. So that's how it will be associated in the organization. So in this section, you have to add your account and your team's account also, so that if something goes wrong, the others can connect to the SQL server and they are going to troubleshoot it. How to add a team account, I'll show you in the future classes. So when you install SQL Server, there are some files will be installed, created, like system databases files, user databases files, backup files. These files and all are going to be created. So in the organization, we'll give separate folders. For user databases, we'll give separate drive. For log files, we'll give separate drive. For backup files, we'll give separate drive. Like that, we'll give separate drives. Okay. Here, initially, we don't have drives. We are only having C drive. Other than that, we don't have any fixed drives. So that I'm dumping everything in the C drive only. Later, we'll add the drives. I'll show you. Okay. How to very simple. If you want to store the data in the D drive, simply you are going to replace this C with D. In the E drive means you will replace this C with E. That's it. In which drive you want to store the data, you are going to replace the drive letter and folders. Clear, guys? Okay, as of now we are having C drive, so that's why everything I am dumping in the C drive only. Everything will be stored in the C drive only. TempDB, there is an importance to the TempDB. What TempDB will do? What is the best practices with the TempDB? Everything will be discussed in the system databases, guys. There is a class called system databases. There I am going to discuss. Max, DOP, memory and all, these are the performance tuning. These will help you to improve the performance of the SQL Server. So these things also will be discussed in the performance tuning classes. That's it, guys. Next and finally, this is the last screen. I told you, right? So it don't understand, your Windows machine don't understand the GUI, but we don't know what is the query to install the SQL Server. So whatever we did till now, Remember, if you are doing refresh also, Microsoft OS will run one command, guys. We don't know what is the command to refresh the Windows machine. When you select right click and when you choose refresh, in the backend one command will run. When I am creating a new folder, right click folder I am selecting, right? Actually, to create new folders, we need one command, mkdir command. But we don't know what is that command to create a new folder. We know right click new folder, that's it. But when you choose right click new folder, automatically in the Windows will run one command to create the folder. Now I am renaming it, right? Again, to rename this also, when I hit enter, one more command will run, rm directory, rename directory and all, not rm, rename directory and all. So like that, for everything, commands only will run. But we don't know what is the command. So that's why your GUI interface will help you in preparing the command, right? So whatever we have selected till now, that will be converted into command, guys. That command will be stored in this file called configuration file.ini. When I click install button, Windows machine will pull this file into command prompt. It will take all the details. I'll show you how the file will be. Don't worry, I'll show you. It will see all the inputs. Okay, for instance, what kind of instance he selected, which edition he selected, whether he is installing new instance or adding features, what and all features is selected, shared components is selected. If it is a named instance, what is the name of the instance? Everything will be included in that command. So when I hit install, automatically this file will be called into command prompt. And as it is having inputs, right, for every parameter, so this will install the SQL Server, guys. That's it. Clear? At least you might feel yesterday kind of overloading. Today with fresh minds, is it clear, guys?
Yes, Shanmugh, we are clear.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let it install. It don't take much time. Yesterday we have already installed shared features, right? It will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes. That's it, based on the server speed and all. So let it install, guys. So in the meantime, what we can do, after installing SQL Server, we have to install one tool called SSMS. Okay, we have to install one tool called SSMS. Why? Because you installed SQL Server and it was installed successfully. But you want to connect to that, right? How you can connect to the SQL Server? We can connect to the SQL Server using Management Studio, guys. What is this called? SQL Server Management Studio. It's a tool to connect to the running instances. Only if the SQL Server is running, then only you can connect. If the SQL Server is in stopped state, you cannot connect, right? If you are sleeping, you cannot respond. So if you are awake, you are listening, then only you can respond. In the same way, if SQL Server is up and running, then only we can connect to that SQL Server. So up to 2016 or 14, SSMS is part of the shared features. Okay, there is a feature called management tools up to 2014. There is a feature, shared feature called management tools. You have to select the shared features, then automatically you will get the SSMS included up to SQL Server 2014. Up to 2014 in the sense, don't think up to 2014 year. Up to SQL Server 2014 version, while installing SQL Server, you have to select one feature called management tools. So automatically you will get Management Studio. No need to install separately. From 2016 onwards, the SSMS is separated, guys. Means again you have to download SSMS software and you have to install SSMS, guys, separately. Okay, from 2016 onwards. From 2016 means SQL Server 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022. If you are installing any of these instances, after installing these instances, you have to install SSMS. It's mandatory. Without SSMS, you cannot connect to SQL Server. We can use SQL CMD and all, command prompt and all, but generally we'll use SSMS only. So up to 2014, you can install using management tools option during the installation. From 2016 onwards, you have to install it, you have to download it separately, and you have to install it. How we are having SQL Server versions 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019. SSMS is also a software, right? So SSMS also will have versions, guys. So simply I can say SSMS is a client. So using this client, we can connect to server. Generally, any software will be client server architecture, guys. Client server model. Any server means SQL Server. SQL Server, guys. So without client, I cannot connect to SQL Server. So the next step that I have to do is, what is the next step, guys? After installing SQL Server, what I have to do? Immediately, you have to
SSMS install.
SSMS. Okay, so let's download SSMS first, and then I'll copy that SSMS and then I'll install the SSMS. So Google, very simple, like Oracle VirtualBox, download SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, just type like this. Whenever you're downloading, always try to download from the Microsoft website, learn.microsoft.com. Open this. Go to this. And there also we have different versions of SSMS. Always use the latest version. You can see here the latest version is 20.2. Okay, the latest version of SSMS is 20.2. So like in case if you want previous versions also, it will be there. Somewhere it will be there. 19.0, 18.0. So these kind of previous versions also will be there. Okay, fine. So go to this, click on this link. See, immediately it will start downloading the SSMS, guys. So installation is succeeded. You can see installation, the SQL Server installation. SSMS is downloading, guys, parallelly. So this SQL Server installation, earlier you can see lot of components which was installed. That is for first time you can see that many components. Next time when you are installing, only these 3 components will be installed successfully. Right, you can see database engine, replication, full text. So these are all the 3 main components that will be installed for every instance, guys. Now you can see details also, you can see install successful. So in case if the installation is successful or failed, it will show in the details section. If installation is failed, it will show you installation failed. And if installation is succeeded, it will show you install successful. And in the below section, there is a file called summary.txt file. In the interface, they will ask this question: in case if the installation is failed, where you are going to check it? In case if your installation is failed, where you are going to check it? The first place that we will check the installation failures is summary.txt file, guys. If you click and open this one, just click on this, you can see that file, notepad. It will show you overall summary, final result, passed. Passed means successfully installed. Exit code 0. If it is 0, the installation is successful. If it is any value other than 0, no need to remember, but at least try to, right? They will ask like what and all, where you are going to check the installation failures. So at least try to tell these words, at least try to remember the terminologies, that is enough. So final result is passed, exit code is 0, and what is the requested action? Install. So if you are installing, it will show you install. If you are patching, it will show you patch. If you are upgrading, it will show you upgrade. If you are uninstalling, it will show you uninstall. These are the different actions that we can perform using that window. What is the machine name? How many processors? OS version? Everything, lot of details will be stored. What and all features installed in that machine. So everything will be stored in the summary.txt. In case if it was failed at any component, it will also show you the error. What kind of error it is. Okay, what is the error description? Everything it will show you. See, whatever the inputs we have selected, that only you can see here. We have selected SQL admin accounts. You can see here. And we have selected the collation settings. You can see here. Right? The inputs that we gave, the service accounts. These are the service account details. Startup type. Okay, startup type. See, startup type. So these are all the different. See, these are the features that we have selected. SQL engine, replication, full text. These are the features that we have selected. This is the configuration file place. Okay, so if you go and see here, I'm just copy pasting this path. Control C, Windows R, Control V, enter. Okay, you can see here. This is the configuration file. I told you, right? It will store the command in the configuration file. Just right click and edit it. See, this is the command. Okay, this is the command. When you hit install button, this file will be pulled into command prompt, and the inputs action is equal to install and service accounts. Okay, suppress the privacy statement, quite simple UI mode, and all these things. You can see here what and all features we have selected, and you can see here indicate progress, and you can see here service accounts, the paths, what is the instance name, instance ID. So everything, service account names and all, you can see startup types. So everything you can see here. And when you just click on install button, this file, this is your command, guys, configuration file.ini. This is how it look like. Okay, the line starts with a colon is your comment. This is the comment and this is the command parameter. This is the parameter. This is the parameter. These are some parameters that will SQL Server will automatically select, guys. You don't need to select those parameters and all. Some of them we have to select, like instance name, default are named, collation settings, directories where you are going to store, service accounts. Okay, these are the things that you have to select. Remaining SQL Server will automatically give the default values. So this is configuration file.ini, guys. So this is how you can check the installation errors. The first file that will verify to check whether installation is, if it is successful, no need to open this. If installation is failed, you have to open this summary.txt file and you have to check what went wrong. Sometimes it will be mentioned in the summary.txt file only. Sometimes if you don't find enough information in the summary.txt file, there is one more file called detailed.txt. Detailed.txt. So I'll show you that also, detailed.txt file. After that, if you don't find, generally they will ask the installation errors. I mean to say, where you are going to check it. In case if the installation is failed, where you are going to check it. So installation failures, we can check in the first place, summary.txt. So they will ask you, where is the summary.txt file? I'll show you. I directly opened it from the installation center. I'll show you where is the exact summary.txt file. If you don't find enough information in the summary.txt file, you can find one more file called the detail.txt. So this will be tracked completely, and to end, lot of information will be there related to the installation. You can also check in the detail.txt. If you don't find here also, if you don't find enough information here also, for everything in the Windows machine, to check, we will use event viewer. In that event viewer, we'll use application logs. Okay, so these three places mainly we can check it, guys. Mostly we'll get the information in these three places only. If anything is failed or failed to install or any errors during the installation and all, you can track in these three places, guys. So let's go and check where are these. Sometimes they will ask you where these files will be. So go to the server. If you see here, 150 setup bootstrap. So let's go to that directory, guys. Let's navigate to the directory. This PC, C, program files. See, when you install SQL Server, it will create a folder in the program files with Microsoft SQL Server. And in this, you can see binaries. These are all the folders called binaries. These are all the instance or root directories. I installed 2 instances. This is for default instance. This is for named instance. And binaries are same for all the instances. So go to 150 and go to setup bootstrap folder. Go to log folder. Here you can see summary.txt file. And whenever you initiated the installation, every time it will create a date and timestamp folder, guys. Every time it will create a date and timestamp folder. Okay, so just now we installed one instance, right? So which was at 7:38, I guess. So this is the latest one. So if you go inside this folder, there you can see configuration file. There you can see detail file. There you can see summary file also, summary.txt file. Is it clear, guys? Everyone? Okay, detail.summary.txt file. So everything will be there in the setup bootstrap folder. In the interest, they will ask you where we can find these files. We can find summary.txt and detail.txt, summary.txt, detail.txt, and even configuration file also, configuration file.ini. In the setup bootstrap folder. Example path. Okay, guys? Are we good?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Just scroll it in the up.
Which one? Server?
That summary. Yeah. No. That installation failure we can check in the
Summary.
summary.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay then, and the notes also.
Notes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just a second.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So this is summary.txt file, and if you see, this is your detail.txt file. This is a very big file. See how much data is there. How much data is there? Very big file. Okay, it's very difficult to read the whole file. So in case if any installation failures are there, what you can do, guys, simply you can go to this file. In case if you don't find enough information in the summary.txt file, then you can use this detail.txt file, and then you can simply type failed. You can search for this failed. Some keywords are there, right? Failed or error. Okay, error means don't think that error will be there. Error monitoring will be there. Okay, error is there means don't think error is there. See, if it is any error reporting, this is error and user reporting. If it is any error is there, definitely it will clearly show you. Okay, that kind of error. And sometimes you might not get a clear picture about the error. So in case if this is the error line, okay, just imagine if this is the error line, just check 10 to 20 lines above the error and 10 to 20 lines below the error, so that you will get an idea what exactly causing the error. So this is how you have to scrutiny the summary files and the detail.txt files, guys. Clear? Any questions, doubts? And application event viewer. Okay, Windows R, there is a shortcut to open event viewer. Generally you can type like this, just click on the Windows machine. Okay, this is the event viewer, guys. It is going to track all the events that happen in the Windows machine, not only for SQL Server. Event viewer is for Windows machine. SQL Server is also one component in the Windows machine, so it will track SQL Server related errors also. Okay, see here, event viewer. You can simply open like this, or there is a shortcut also, EVENT VWR, VWR, EVENT VWR. This is also you can use. And when you open event viewer and expand the Windows logs and then click on the application logs, there you can see information, warning, critical information, errors, everything. You can track it for all the softwares, not only for SQL Server, for all the software. Summary file, detail.txt file only for SQL Server, but event viewer for all the softwares. So what you have to do here, you have to just filter the SQL related errors. Okay, you have to just filter the SQL related errors, guys. So let's wait for some time. I mean to say it will be loaded. Just wait for a minute. Once it's loaded, I'll show you how it will be and how to filter event viewer also I'll show you. After that, we'll install SSMS, then we'll take the break. Okay. See, this is how it will be. Information, warnings. Okay, if you go scroll down, see warnings and errors. If any errors are there, it will give you like errors. As of now, no errors, I guess. Yeah, no errors. So like this, you can see, guys. Okay, if you want, see in the source section, you can see the other softwares also. Okay, you can see the other softwares also. So I want to just track only SQL Server related errors. Now what you have to do, you have to filter the current error log. See, filter current error log. What you want to filter, whether you want to filter critical information, warning, errors and all, select it. And what is the source? You want to select from SQL Server. MS SQL will be there. Go to M series. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, J, K, L, M, okay, M and MS SQL. Okay, you see here MS SQL and MS SQL and MS SQL named instance. Just select outside and click OK. Then you can see only MS SQL related data, guys. So as of now, we don't have any warnings, okay, critical errors and all. I'm selecting information also this time. So you can see information. See the source section, only information related things you can see. This is SQL Server related information. Okay, this is default instance. This is default instance. MS SQL Server means default instance related information. And this is batch 56. Just now we installed, right? Like this, you can track easily using your, what I can say, event your application logs, guys. So 3 places. First place is summary.txt. Second place is detail.txt. If you don't find enough information here, in these 2 places, you can also use event your application logs, guys. Are we good?
No question.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if you have a situation like new environment, if the storage client has given 500 GB or something, then we have to decide like how much to be allocated for data log and 10
This
GB
is not
or the
relevant.
storage.
This is not relevant. That will be discussed later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So relevant means wanted, I'll skip it. It shouldn't create confusion to others. So yes, there is a time. So if I'm skipping means definitely in future somewhere I'm going to discuss on that. So that will be covered. Okay. Yes, Sharon.
Yeah, one more thing. No? Yeah. Is there any, I mean, the possible errors that we come across and then how we have to resolve
That's
those?
what.
Can you
See, whatever errors I cannot show you. Okay, some common errors will be like in case if you are not getting or if you don't have enough privileges. Generally, who are installing the SQL Server should be a local administrator. You should be a local administrator. Then only you can install the SQL Server. Administrator account I'm using now to install SQL Server. So this administrator is part of the local admin. So only people, the local administrator or domain users, of course, they also should be part of local administrator. Only those who are part of the local administrators can install the SQL Server. So like where we can see whether you are part of local administrator or not. Open run, type lusr.mgr.msc. Okay, local user manager. LUSR means local user, MGR means manager. So in the groups section, there is a group called administrator. So those who are all part of this group, they only can install the SQL Server. So if you are not part of this group, generally installation will be failed, stating that enough permissions, you don't have enough permissions to install. So that is one common reason. Generally, you will not get it. Why? Because all the DBAs are local administrators, should be local administrator. Sometimes it can be failed due to disk space issues. If you don't have enough disk space also, sometimes installations will be failed. Some common reason, not very common, but there is a chance that installation can be failed is missing MSA and MSP files. This will be covered in the patching session. So these are some common reasons that installation can be failed. And you should use fixed drives only. You cannot install SQL Server in the, what I can say, hard disks and all. Okay, external hard disks. You cannot install SQL Server in the external hard disks or pen drives. For example, when you attach external hard disk, it will create a drive, right? D drive or E drive. So when you're trying to install SQL Server to the external hard disks, or when you're trying to install SQL Server to the pen drives, it will be failed. So the drive should be fixed drives, C drive, D drive, E drive, fixed drives that you will get it with the Windows machine. So in case if you're not using any fixed drives also, the installation will be failed. This is the very important thing that you have to keep in mind, guys. And there are some common scenarios. There is a chance that your installation can be failed. If it's a fresh installation, you might not get this issue. But if you are installing SQL Server on an existing machine, okay, as a second installation or third installation, then there is a chance that your installation can be failed with the MSA and MSP files errors, missing MSA and MSP files errors. So what is this MSA and MSP files? When we will get it, how to troubleshoot this will be discussed in the patching class. Installations, patchings, upgradations, uninstallations. These are some common things that we'll get missing MSA and MSP errors, guys. MSI, Microsoft installer files, MSP, Microsoft patch files. So this will be covered in the patching section. Okay. Fine. Right. So what we can do now, so we have already downloaded the software, right? SSMS. So let's copy the software. Okay. So just you can copy the software, guys, manually. You can right click copy and just go to the server and you can paste it, right click, paste it. Okay. So now I'm just doing the same. Just a minute. So guys, in case if you are not using RDP, you cannot directly copy paste, guys. Okay. So I just copied the SSMS. Now I'm going to the server. Okay. I am just minimizing everything. And on the desktop, I am going to paste it, guys. Right. On the desktop, I'm going to paste it. If you connected to the server remotely, right click copy paste will work. Okay. And if you are connected to the server directly, copy paste will not work, guys. But don't worry. I told you, right? You can first enable the network settings. Then go to your Internet Explorer in the server itself. Download SSMS from the Internet Explorer in the server itself. No need to copy paste it. Just open Internet Explorer. You will get the internet. But you have to enable the network connections that we have already discussed. Server side, Oracle VirtualBox Manager, machine settings and network settings. You have to select bridge adapter, promiscuous mode allow all, and name will be Wi-Fi, something name will be there. Wi-Fi adapter name will be there. You have to select. Once you selected, you will get the internet access to the server. So directly you can download the SSMS using Internet Explorer itself. If you are not able to use RDP feature, okay. If you are able to use RDP feature, just right click copy and right click paste from your local laptop. Download your SSMS in the local laptop. Right click copy, paste it to the server. That's it. So we'll initiate the SSMS installation. Once it's installed, then we'll go for a break and then we'll discuss the other things, guys, in the meantime.
Shanmugh, SSMS is introduced separated from 2014, right? The older version can be connected
I'll tell
after.
you. I'll tell you. Okay, will be discussed. Right. So it's almost copied. So once it's copied, what we can do, guys, we can open this with run as administrator again. Okay. So right click, run as administrator, and hit yes. So here guys, you can see you install and close. You don't see any options like SQL Server. Lot of options are there, right? SQL Server installation. In the SSMS installation, you don't see that kind of options. Only two buttons, install, close. So just install it. No other options it will ask. Just click on install button. That's it. Installation will start. Okay. So it will take some time. Take a break. Come back after 15 minutes and we'll continue the discussion, guys.